Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my March music finds. Today I'm going to be showing you what I got in CD form, so let me just jump right into it. I know there's one album that I got that's down in my car. I'm not going to go get it. It's still in my CD player, and that is American 5, 100 Highways, Johnny Cash. It's one of the Rick Rubin records that he put out at the end of his life. This was actually I believe the first posthumous American record that came out after he passed away. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it's the one that has God's Gonna Cut You Down on it, which was a pretty big song when it came out. I've got 3 kind of sort of similar genres, so I'll start with the shorter 2. I'll start with the, I guess, classic rock. In terms of like the artists. I finally picked this up. This is the album Chuck by Chuck Berry. It was his last album. It came out in 2017, spearheaded by his son. It was an album that I wanted to get when it came out, but never did. And then Dual Tone Records was having a flash sale where they were selling a bunch of their CDs for $5, and I could not pass it up. But it's got a lot of great songs on here. It was recorded like over like a 20-year period. And the album was announced on Chuck's 90th birthday. He passed away before it's released, but it was kind of a nice little capstone to get 10 new Chuck Berry songs. So I was happy to get that for $5. Again, I've talked about this one. I won't talk about it again. Moving on, Skiffle, the newest by Van Morrison, 2-album set. Absolutely love that album. I picked this up, which I know my friend Rob at Northern Revolutions also has the vinyl version, but I got the CD, Songs of Surrender by U2. It's 40 songs, 4 discs of essentially Bono and the Edge reimagining U2 songs. It is numbered, but I mean, you can see how high the number is, whatever that means. It's a slow-paced album. Again, it's not one that you want to crank or anything like that. It's almost background, but I understand what they were going for with it, but I'm not sure that the casual fan will appreciate it. So then I got the newest by U2. And then lastly, in the classic rock vein, as it were, I got the 50th anniversary of Honky Chateau by Elton John. This is a 2-disc set. This is the this is the expanded set. There was no mega box set like the Madman album that came out last year. They're probably gearing up for a big anniversary of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, is my guess. But you have the original album remastered, and then you have Honky Chateau sessions. So you know, all the songs from the album. So CD1 is the first half of the sessions. CD2, it gives you the last 4 songs from the sessions, and then songs 5 through 12 on this 2 are live at the Royal Festival Hall in London, 1972. Fantastic album. You know, the big hits, you had Honky Cat on here, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, and then the big one was Rocket Man. So, fantastic album. Really, really like it. And it's got the classic Elton John band with Dee Murray, Nigel Olsson, and Davy Johnstone on here. So, fantastic, fantastic set. Get it if you don't have it. It sounds great. Next, I got 2 jazz records. This one I picked it up in vinyl, but this was also part of the Dual Tone $5 sale. This is My Ideal, Amos Lee's tribute to Chet Baker Sings. Fantastic, fantastic. If you like smooth vocal jazz, Amos Lee does Chet Baker very well, and I'm really a big fan of it. It's just Amos Lee, 3 other musicians, David Strime, Madison Rast, and Anwar Marshall. There's Amos right there. So, really, really good. If you like Chet Baker, if you like nice, smoky jazz, I highly recommend this. I'm talking to you, Randall Nelson. Then I got a Miles Davis album that's been missing in my collection. Mostly because it's not one that, it doesn't always sell cheap. Like, it's one that's still fairly popular. But I did get Bitches Brew, Miles Davis. This is the 2-disc set. So you have the original album as well as Feo, a bonus track. Of course, this is really the big step in Miles Davis's transformation into jazz fusion. And I've never listened to it, so I'm excited to eventually get to this. So there are my first 2 genres. And then lastly, if you know me at all, I'm going to show you a lot of country and Americana. So bear with me. There's some good stuff in here. I got this album on the grounds of my friend Tommy over at Tommy's Musical Adventures. He's been begging me to listen to this album. I finally listened to it the other day on YouTube, and I did like it quite a bit. And so I thought by having a physical copy, I would get into it even more. And that is really the standout album by Jason Isbell, excuse me, Southeastern. This is his kind of recovery album. He has Amanda Shires on here playing fiddle, who's also his wife. It's produced by Dave Cobb, and Dave Cobb he does a great job. He produces a lot of Lucas Nelson, Brent Cobb, people like that. And just a really, really good, I mean, it's about addiction. It's about, essentially Jason talking about that he was not a good person and he was coming out of it. He had left the drive-by truckers by this point. And this is a 10-year-old album this year, if you can believe it. But really, really good. I listened to it today on the way to work, and it's growing on me. This album, this is a bluegrass album, and Glenn Kellaway from the Basement, you need this album. You need this album, Glenn. This is Mighty Poplar. It's self-titled. It's a new supergroup. So you have Andrew Marlin on mandolin and vocals, on most of the vocals. He's the lead singer, and he's also the lead singer of Mandolin Orange, which is now called Watch House. And he's accompanied by 3 members of Punch Brothers, Chris Thiele's band. It's minus Chris Thiele, but you can see the names up top there. And Alex Hargreaves, who he played fiddle for Sarah Jarosz for a few years. I saw him probably 9 years ago with Sarah Jarosz, and now he's touring with Billy Strings in big arenas. So he's really come a long way. But it's straight ahead bluegrass. It's they're all cover songs. And Glenn, again, you need this album. They do songs by A.P. Carter. Martha Scanlon does the song Up on the Divide, which is my favorite. Bob Dylan, they do North Country Blues. They do Little Joe by V.E. Marston. Let Him Go On Mama by John Hartford. They do a couple of instrumentals like Gray Eagle and Kicking Up the Devil on Holiday, which is called Dr. Heacock's Jig, which is a traditional song. And then they finish with the Leonard Cohen song Story of Isaac. So it's really good. It's kind of laid back bluegrass, but it's more bluegrassy than Punch Brothers or Mandolin Orange. So Glenn, I'm talking to you, or anybody that likes bluegrass, get this album. It's fantastic. Somehow I got it a week early, but really, really good. I'm really excited to dig into it more. I've listened to it a couple times already. As I mentioned, I kind of picked up a couple of Johnny Cash albums. American 5 was one. I also picked up American 3, Solitary Man. This is from 2000. One of the last albums that he put out in his lifetime. It was the first album after he really got sick. So his voice is pretty weak, but it's the same kind of voice that you hear on like Hurt. So if you know the song Hurt, then you're not unfamiliar with his sound. But you have I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. Tom Petty sings on that track, and Mike Campbell and Ben Montench are all over this album as well. He does Solitary Man by Neil Diamond, The Lucky Old Son, One by U2, Would You Lay With Me in a Field of Stone, Before My Time, I'm Leaving Now, and Wayfaring Stranger. And again, it's produced by Rick Rubin. Love these American albums. So stripped back and raw. I also got, and thank you Amazon for the crack package, Live at San Quentin. I was missing that. I had Folsom, but I did not have it San Quentin. Produced by Bob Johnston, who produced a lot of Bob Dylan. And really excited to have this. So, Live at San Quentin. Next, I got, this is a new album, and if you like cosmic country, I consider this guy a mix of Mike Nesmith meets the Beach Boys. And Chris Prophy, I'm talking to you. You need this album. This is Andrew Gabbard, Cedar City Sweetheart. It is cosmic country to its fullest. Very Beach Boysy in parts, very Mike Nesmith in parts, very Byrds in parts. It's just very atmospheric. I really would recommend it. Randy Nelson, you might like this too. All original stuff. I mean, songs like, some of these titles, Surfboard City, Get Blue, Cool Ranch, Smoky Mountain Prowler. Just really, really, really good stuff. Check it out. Andrew Gabbard, Cedar City Sweetheart. I filled in a gap in my Marty Stewart collection. This is the gospel music of Marty Stewart. It's a compilation, but it's songs that are not on other albums. It's all live from the Marty Stewart show that he did on RFD TV. This is put out by Gaither Productions, the Bill Gaither Syndicate. Great rockin' gospel tunes on here. If you like, more upbeat gospel songs. He does a song 99 and a Half Won't Do, which my band plays. Songs like Just a Little Talk with Jesus. He does Greystone Chapel, the Johnny Cash tune. Well, the tune that Johnny Cash played at Folsom. Walking to Jerusalem, Just Like John, another one that my band does. Very rockabilly, very rockin'. He has Walking My Lord Up Calvary's Hill, which is sung by Connie Smith, his wife. Just really, really good. The gospel music of Marty Stewart. I got the latest Willie Nelson album. It's called I Don't Know a Thing About Love. It's Willie Nelson sings Harlan Howard tunes. And just a really, really great album. So songs like Tiger by the Tail, Excuse Me, I Think I've Got a Heartache, Streets of Baltimore, which is, Buck Owens' tune. She Called Me Baby, Beautiful Annabelle Lee, and it's produced by his longtime partner, Buddy Cannon. I think very early March, I got to see Old Crow Medicine Show, and the opener for that show was a lady by the name of Molly Tuttle, who is a young, up-and-coming bluegrass pioneer, essentially. And I went online after I saw her and picked up most of what I could find from her. So I got her debut EP called Rise. She's an incredible flat picker. She got a great voice. This song has 7 tracks on it. Some of the people that are on here, she has John O'Ricks from the Wood Brothers. He's on here. Daryl Scott is on here. Let's see. I think there's somebody else. Oh, the Milk Carton Kids are on song number 4 called Lightning in a Jar, who I like a lot. And produced by Kai Welsh. So it's just a really, really good introduction to her career. And then I got her first full-length album, her solo album, When You're Ready. Again, just great bluegrass, finger-picking, flat-picking guitar. Let me see who's on here. If anybody. I think there are people on here. Jason Isbell, Sierra Hull, who are, again, I just mentioned Jason Isbell. Just a lot of the people in the Americana world that, are somebody, I should say. And the cool thing about Molly is she actually suffers from alopecia, which is not cool, but she wears a wig. She's actually completely bald, but she's a big advocate for alopecia. So just really cool. And she's currently dating Ketch Secor of Old Crow Medicine Show. Billy Strings plays on the song Sit Back and Watch It Roll. He plays he does background vocals, I should say. So some heavy hitters on that album. And again, it's called When You're Ready. Then I got her COVID album, which is called But I'd Rather Be With You. And the reason I got this is because she did a song by the Rolling Stones, She's a Rainbow, when she played live. And again, it was just her solo acoustic. This has the actual band. But she does a ton of songs. I mean, she does Fake Empire by The National. Again, the song I just mentioned, A Little Lost by Arthur Russell, Something on Your Mind, Karen Dalton. Mirrored Heart by FKA Twigs. I don't know all these songs. Olympia, Washington by Rancid. Standing on the Moon by the Grateful Dead. Zero by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Sunflower Volume 6 by Harry Styles. And then she does How Can I Tell You by Cat Stevens. And she's got a good little insert in there as to why she decided to record those songs. And then this album, which is her latest from 2022, it's called Crooked Tree with her band Golden Highway. She does the song Big Backyard on here with Old Crow Medicine Show. She does a song called Dooley's Farm with Billy Strings. Margot Price does a song with her called Flatland Girl. Sierra Hull's on here. Dan Tominski. Gillian Welsh is on here. It's produced by Jerry Douglas, dobro player extraordinaire. He plays with Alison Krauss, and it's got, you know, all sorts of people on here of that genre. So I could go on about this kind of music. And again, like I said, I saw Old Crow Medicine Show, so I filled out my Old Crow Medicine Show collection. So I got their debut, self-titled, which has Wagon Wheel on it. Fantastic album. Lots of other great songs. And they're Virginia boys from Harrisonburg, Virginia, near where I went to college. Their second album, Big Iron World, which has New Virginia Creeper, Cocaine Heart, I Hear Them All. Great, kind of almost like a punk bluegrass. Tennessee Pusher, their third album, which has the song Methamphetamine, which is about, you know, drug addiction in the South. Then one of my favorites by them, it's called Carry Me Back. They do Carry Me Back to Virginia. Then a beautiful song on here called Ain't It Enough, sung by Willie Watson. Bootlegger's Boy is fantastic. They're just a fantastic group. I love them so much. Remedy, which has the Bob Dylan co-write Sweet Amarillo. It's got the really high-paced 8 Dogs, 8 Banjos. Dearly Departed Friend. The Warden is a beautiful song to close it off. They're the boys. And then I got this EP called Brushy Mountain Conjugal Trailer, which has a couple songs from that album. It's also got a live track of The Warden. And then they have a song called Mother Church about the Ryman Auditorium. So there you go. Sorry about all the country and Americana, but I was on a kick this month, and hopefully slowing it down in April. But let me know what y'all think. You know, did I overdo it? Like I said, check out all of those albums that I mentioned specifically, especially Andrew Gabbard, Cedar City Sweetheart is wonderful, and then Mighty Poplar by Mighty Poplar is fantastic. So thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you all for getting me to 700 subscribers. I failed to mention that in my last video. I really appreciate you all sticking with me these past couple of years. So in the meantime, y'all be good. Take care. And we'll see you on whatever's next. So bye now.